So if you're in the chat, you can place your bets. You can place your bets on who you think is going to be this week's finalist. Wait, what? Okay. Un momento. I need a couple of seconds. And here we go. Predictions are open. You have 2 minutes upon hearing this message to place your bets in the chat. Meanwhile, we're getting into this and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Neo Humanity, going for a 15 hatch opener. You love it to see it. Oh, but it's a little bit too late because the block is here. We have the South Korean Zerg player. Oh, it's going to be a 15 pool even. You have the South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. It is RagnaroK. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the American Terran player living in the land of South Korea, representing Matcherino Esports. It is Future. Here we go. 1 minute as I do fix the colors of our lovely players. Un momento. There we go. So, if you are unfamiliar with Future and his TVZ, we've been casting a lot of him over the past month or so, and Future does this very often. He is I would say, the only Terran player that I'm aware of, and we cast a lot of Starcraft here on the CranKy Ducklings, that goes for eBay blocks consistently in this matchup against Zerg. It's really interesting. In general, Future has a very unique style of play against Zerg, even against Protoss as well. It's so intriguing. Like, every time I cast Future, I'm like getting out, like, I don't even know if I want to say a notebook, but like a magnifying glass. Like, I want to see like these little like changes and these little quirks that Future has, because he just has such a unique approach here to the matchup. As we can see, the Lings have arrived and the eBay is going to be cancelled just in time. So the reason why RagnaroK went for a 15 pool is because of this reason as well. It is a much faster spawning pool, and its purpose was to make sure that RagnaroK gets his expansion up and running, because Future, I would say at this point, after living in Korea for a month, has the reputation for these eBay blocks. We've seen RagnaroK, we've seen Solar and Dark as well adapt to Future, as we've been casting them face off against Future over the past month. And yeah, like, it feels like, you know, the word is out and these players are getting used to how Future plays. Behind this, he's getting into his Rax Expand, working on his CC on the low ground. His Reaper, of course, is maintaining control of this area of the map. Future even has unique variations of the Beyond Opener as well. Very unique to Future. So again, it's just really cool to see. As Future did force the unnatural natural, it is going to cause mining to be a little bit more inefficient here and a little bit awkward for RagnaroK, at least in the early game. Meanwhile, behind this, Future is going for a straight up 1-1-1. You don't really see this too often anymore, just because of how popular 2-1-1 openers are, with the Beyond Opener, of course, or even 3cc 2-1-1, or just 3cc openers in general. So this is less economic from Future and more aggressive. The other thing about Future, as he's starting Marauder production, my god, is that he's willing to like go all in. He's very aggressive against Zerg players, and he's one of the players that more often than not goes for 2-base all-ins against Zerg, and it's something you don't see too often at all in this matchup. Or yeah, in this matchup, it's just not really a thing. Meanwhile, RagnaroK, he dives in for the scout. He sees the Marauders, he sees the armory. He is fully aware that Future was getting ready for a Hellbat Marauder push, and it has been scouted. The jig is up. Does Future commit? Or does he cancel? At this point, the armory is almost done, so we may as well just commit to it anyway. Hellions are moving out across the map, the Marauders as well. And RagnaroK has plenty of time to get ready. We have the Roach Warren on the way. Now, to be fair, Hellbat Marauder is one of the least committed variations of this push. So, of a Hellbat push, I should say. So, Future, he's transitioning. We have a third base on the way. He isn't overly committed. He just threatens the third base. Meanwhile, at the same time, Lings go for a massive counterattack. Do we have anything back at home to defend? The answer is no. We have nothing back at home. We have one Marine. Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do. The Hellions across the map, they get met by roaches as RagnaroK is racing out on near humanity. The repairs are on point, but there's a lot of lost mining time for Future. And Future has no answer to the roaches. There's no tanks, there's no cyclones, there's no banshees. Because of this specific Hellbat Marauder opener, there's just very little to deal with Roach Ravager. And this push may just kill Future. This could just be it. Marine goes down. SCVs are in danger. The wall is going to be knocked down as well. The Hellions do turn back around to support. And they're doing a decent amount of damage here. It looks like Future is going to be able to hold on. That one Marauder comes back home as well. And Future won't sustain any more economic damage. Really well done. Really well done here by Future to recognize the danger that he was in to turn back around. He could have lost so much more as the Lings do come in. Almost punishing the army of Future. As he does have his third on the way. Tank is coming out behind this. Oh, Mutas. I do think they can be quite potent here in this situation. Spire is on the way. We have the potential for Mutalisks. Now, Future does have Stim, thankfully, and he has some Marines. But he is not prepared for Muta play at all. Back at home, RagnaroK working on his fourth and his fifth hatchery. Doesn't really have a high worker count. He's going to be cutting workers at 67. This is around 3 base saturation. And he's focusing everything on just producing roaches and lings. Even though the the Spire was cancelled. Never mind. The Spire was cancelled in the end. So, yeah, RagnaroK just focusing on his roach push instead. Got 1-1 on the way. RagnaroK does squeeze out a couple of additional workers, so he's not going all in. He is saturating his fourth base at least a little bit. As Future is pushing out, the tanks have arrived. Oh, some good tank shots do go off. But there's just not enough bio on the ground. The Marines get cleaned up. The tanks also forced to be lifted as well. Oh my god. Future, he was watching Hormono. Fancy moves. Does snipe an additional unit towards the end there. But RagnaroK does still have control of his side of the map. Takes control of that rich Vespian gas geyser as well. And yeah, now he can focus on this timing. 1-1 is about to kick in for the Roach Ravager. Now, Near Humanity does have a lot of defensive features, so Future, he can try to hold on to his third. He only has 2 tanks. They're at his third base. His natural is that much more exposed. He has 3 tanks, sorry. As the Biles are going to be forcing Micro out of the Bio Army. He's getting on top of the tanks. Lings are coming in from behind. And the tanks are going down. Only one does survive. The boys are being pulled into Lings. And it looks like the third base is going to be broken. We have 1 tank here at the natural, but the third though. There's just barely anything left here at the third base. Future, he had a cheeky start to the game, of course, with the eBay block into the Hellbat push, but the Hellbat push didn't really do much of anything. Tank, it goes down. Boys are being pulled once again. And it looks like RagnaroK is going to be able to just collapse on this army, and he should be able to even break into the natural. He's going to rotate over towards the third base instead. Future has been doing a really great job of preserving his SCVs. It's been really impressive to see him pulling and then pulling back the boys after tanking some shots. But as I say that, 10 more SCVs went down. Fourth base was cancelled. And with these Marauder reinforcements, it looks like Future, he may be able to hold on a little bit longer. But only for a little bit. As we can see, Ragnar just collapsing on the Marauders, once again taking down the final tank at that natural base. And yeah, with these reinforcements, Future has been trying to hold on the entire time, but he just barely cannot. He's been fighting his heart out. Oh, the Biles that connect with the Medivacs. GG gets called. And RagnaroK takes game number 1. Oh, GG. Very nicely done there by RagnaroK. Not just when it came to his opener as well to help deal with that eBay block, but also with the scouting. He was able to get eyes. On his opponent very early on, able to see the armory well ahead of time and able to prepare as well. So that did kind of put Future in a really rough position from the beginning. The reason for that is because if you remember, Future did open up with a delayed third CC. He was taking up towards that Hellbat push, that Hellbat Marauder push. It had to do some kind of damage, and it just kind of fell on its face. Didn't really get too much value. And yeah, from there, RagnaroK, he kind of had a lot of map control. He had a lot of freedom to do what he wanted, to get into his push, to get into his economy as well. GG. Now we have game 2. Now we have our second game. I would love some breakfast. Ducklings bringing the soup and the salad before the main course. Oh, what do you mean, fam? GPO is the main course. Gamers 8 is dessert, fam. What do you mean? So getting in. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have our South Korean Zerg player representing Mystery Gaming. Leading the series 1-0. It is RagnaroK. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the American Terran player representing Maturino Esports. It is Future. Oh, it's going to be a short one. SCVs are being sent out across the map. Only 2, to be fair. Only 2 SCVs, so it is going to be a proxy 2 racks from Future, which means it's not very committed. It's not a very committed proxy as... Oh, never mind. Future is taking gas. He's taking his gas here, back at home. So this is not proxy Marine. I believe this is going to be Reapers, question mark? Otherwise, there's no reason to get gases this early on. The other thing that it could be is Proxy Marauder, but that's not really a thing in this matchup against Zerg. So I'm feeling Reapers. The Overlord is going to barely miss this, and of course we can make use of this Reaper cliff here into the main base. So Future once again coming out of left field here with Proxy, and he is making a third racks as well. Oh my god. Let's go. So, yeah, again, this is something you don't really see too often in this matchup. Proxy Reaper is not a thing in TVZ, just because of how much more committed it is. And we'll see if Future can out-control his opponent. My god, he's going Proxy 4 racks Reaper! 4 racks! You can't get more all-in than that. Oh my god. It's been a while. I haven't seen Proxy 4 racks in a long time. Here we go, the first Reaper does dive into the main. The jig is up. One drone already goes down. A good start here for Future. Can he get a second? Oh, he has to be careful not to overextend. Has to be careful not to be caught out by that queen. Oh! Does take another hit to the face. Meanwhile, we are making 3 Reapers at a time. The Ling does scout and confirm the proxy. RagnaroK is aware of what's going on. Spine Crawler is on the way. We're going to need those spines. Spines, queens, lings to buffer. As the Reaper count is just going to get higher and higher. This is what I was talking about earlier about how Future just has a unique perspective here of the matchup, and he's such a quirky player. Going for very unusual builds in this matchup. Here we go, the Reapers, they do have to be careful here as, oh god, they are getting quite low. One of them at least getting very low against his queens. See RagnaroK just trying to lure the army in ever closer. Ooh, another, a Reaper goes down. First Reaper goes down. Queens are getting low. Spine Crawler not in a good enough position actually, and it looks like the queens, oh my god, they almost go down. RagnaroK just being forced back, and it looks like a queen will fall. Good pick off for Future. But as the queen count gets higher, I mean, we're going to have energy for Transfuse. Oh. A little bit of latency going on. Meanwhile, across the map, oh, the Lings, they get in. The wall was not a wall. Lings do go for a massive counter attack. RagnaroK, he didn't even need them back at home to defend, and Future, he's running out of longevity in this game. We do dive on top of the army. GG gets called. And RagnaroK takes game number 2 and the series 2-0. GG. Ugh. RagnaroK just keeping his Lings back, keeping them hidden for the entirety of that game, essentially. Going for a big counterattack. Unfortunately, Future, he didn't really have a wall set up, so his economy was just non-existent. And then he went for the surround on those Reapers. GG, very well done. Again, this is something that we don't really see at all in this matchup, so it's a treat. It's a treat to get Proxy 4X Reaper in this TVZ, but alas, it was not enough to overcome RagnaroK. And with that, congratulations. Congratulations to RagnaroK for advancing on to the Grand Finals. Meanwhile, I see in the chat, is this live or a replay? This is live. This is a live broadcast. And because it's live, we have some time to ourselves. What I mean by that is that RagnaroK advances on to the Grand Finals, and he's going to be waiting for one of two players, either Gumiho or Estrella. They are mid-series. It means that we have to wait for Gumiho and Estrella to finish before we can get our next matchup. So we have a little bit of time to ourselves.